Good day, ladies and gentlemen. In this opportunity, we would like to present our study with the title Expected Attribute to Design Sleeping Facilities for the Elderly based on the Potential Stakeholder Point of View. I would like to take a moment to introduce myself and the paper contributor. My name is Elty Sarvia. I'm a lecturer from Bachelor Program in Industrial Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, together with my colleagues from the same university but in different department, Erwin Ardianto Halim from Interior Design Department, and Elizabeth Wianto from Visual Communication Department, which is currently studying her doctoral degree in National Cheng Kung University, Taiwan, and Elvira Natalia, a student from my department. Please allow us to present our current study.
Considering that Indonesia is an aging country, we need to realize that this country has its new society proportion. As the elderly population is getting larger, the age ratio of the labor age to elderly getting smaller. Therefore, in this cohort can support their independence as the longer as it is possible, then it will be beneficial for the whole society. Start with the spirit. From our field to expertise point of view, we realize that there are two unavoidable facts related to elderly. The first one is elderly sleeping patterns, and the second one is the elderly anthropomorphic scale changes. Based on its facts, then we consider the designing the equited sleeping facility for the still potential elderly to reduce undesirable even needs to get proper attention. This study is an action research considering the potential user to improve the related existing product. For the first step, we gather data collection by 1. In-depth interview, 2. Focus group discussion. Combining those two data collection techniques was needed in this study. Along the way, in deep interview, research is not to clear attribute, especially from the elderly who is general state that they are already satisfied with their own sleeping facility. All of attribute emerge to the step 1. They are converted into functional positive statement and dysfunctional negative statement and analyzed by Kano methods. For the second step, the questionnaire was given in the form of functional and dysfunctional statement, which we divide into three aspects. 1. Mattress. 2. Divan of bed. 3. Surrounding of sleeping facility. A total 64 variable divided into every 32 attributes were shared with parents, children, and elderly parents. The purpose of pairing the answer was to understand whether any discrepancy of prefers variable to define good sleeping facility for the elderly. Other additional questions to add cluster group ones need to also ask in form of 1. Sex, 2. Education level, 3. Appropriate price for elderly single bed. In this research, the participants for first data collection are 7 people for in-depth interview, for focus group discussion, and 70 pairs adult children and their elderly requirement in this study.
After the data collected were valid and reliable, we continued testing using Kolmogorov-Smirnov, and it was found that the data were not normally distributed. So the proof of the hypothesis would be followed by the Mann-Whitney U-test. The result: there is no difference in opinion between the child's partner are important in the design of bed facilities. So it can be concluded that the opinion parent is similar with their child regarding sleeping facilities for the elderly. Based on Kano method, we found out that three variable needs for future consideration. There is one variable categorized as R, reversible, made of hard form material, and there are two variable categories as O, one-dimensional, needs to be easy to move and needs to be easy to clean underneath. Actually, initial attribute classification has the purpose to divide the strong attributes to count in the next process. The strongest attribute will assign with M must be, AT attractive, and O one-dimensional, while the set aside attribute will assign with I indifference, R reverse, and K questionable. However, in this study we do not have attribute categorized as M, AT, and O as the strongest attributes. Hence, we still have the R and O categorized to be considered in the next process. This attribute is the reverse attribute. Actually, this attribute supposed not to be appear on the product to avoid less satisfaction. The material of hard form matrix should support a good sleep, since the actigraphic motion will influence the number and how long the user awake during the night. However, the inconsistency of perceiving the matrix as hard or soft is arguably different between one to another. Therefore, we insisted to mention this R attribute as the future needs to be experienced directly by the potential customer. This is the first attribute categorized as one-dimensional. Needs to be easy to move is apart from the bed section attributes. It is important that the designer provide the feature of giving the mobility of the bed to the various expectations of the elderlies. As follow, the importance of changes the layout, additional or replacement of all furniture due to various reasons, and the habit of cleaning the house frequently. The other important attribute is need to be easy to clean underneath, also calculated as O categorized. For hygienic reason, this attribute always mentioned by the respondents. There are many ways to clean the empty space of the bed. However, not every bedroom size has the flexibility to move the furniture. There is possible reason why this cleaning activity is important to do by the elderly, and the most possible reason is the material of filling the mattress. Kapok is the common filling material used in Indonesia, and considering the elderly were born in 1960 or earlier, it is very common for them to get used to kapok as the material selected for filling the mattresses, pillows, and bolster. Furthermore, we also need to consider the weakness of kapok as natural material, because it produces visible dust particles and needs special treatment for its maintenance. Kapok design mattress is thinner than other type of mattress, so the bed or divan designed for kapok mattress will be different with other material mattress. Therefore, bottom of the bed often has larger empty space, and by calculating the thickness of the mattress, the area of the bottom of the bed is relatively easy to clean using traditional cleaning tools. Explanation for this attribute also needs to be mentioned about the elderly's habits of cleaning the empty space at the bottom of the bed. However, the optimizing free space underneath is more preferable because of the size reduction of room with higher property prices.
As closing statement, we would like to mention that both generation perspective regarding sleeping facility attributes are relative match. However, not all the request attribute will influence user satisfaction when provided. We would like to emphasize that two attributes explored in this study show that sleeping facilities should considering Indonesian elderly habit for sleeping activities. In general, the use of furniture has a long time uses, but we need to consider in changing way of the sleeping of the elderly compare their younger days. maintaining good habits of the elderly to support their quality of life by the use of material, design, and technology. Mentioning all above discussion, then our further research will proposing design recommendation for the older adult. Will its WTO desirable attribute mobility of bed position and cleaning the lower space of the bed easily.